This week, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Join me as we discover what this exciting and vibrant city has to offer. I flew on the direct flight from Dublin to Cleveland, Ohio, a city on the shores of Lake Erie, the fourth largest of the 5 Great Lakes in North America. It's got a concentrated city centre with a bigger and better offering than you'd normally expect from a city of this size. In Cleveland, they say they've got world-class experiences without the world-class ego, and I just loved the place. So here I am again. Cleveland has 150 parks, dozens of museums, a cosmopolitan food scene, craft breweries, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a theatre district second only to New York City's Broadway, and, nearly best of all, it's really great value here. So your dollar goes really far. Hello. Wow. This is incredible. I feel like I'm in ancient Rome or somewhere. This is unbelievable. I keep saying Cleveland is full of surprises, but oh my God.
It sure is, isn't it?
Oh, this is stunning. Wow.
Right, so this is the lagoon.
Okay, brilliant.
This is the Fine Arts Garden. There's sculptures, clustered throughout. And then we have cultural gardens too. So they represent many different countries and they're kind of scattered along this whole area.
And of course, this is the Cleveland Museum of Art that I've been meaning to visit for a long time. I've heard so much about it. You have Monet's, Caravaggios, Rodin. It's all here.
And it's totally
all the big
free
hitters.
and open to the public.
Wow, amazing. The Cleveland Museum of Art is epic. It has a colossal 66,000 artworks spanning a period of over 6,000 years. It is 3 times the size of the Irish National Gallery. This isn't just art. There are artefacts, sculptures, prints and textiles, and very impressive historic weaponry. It offers everything here: Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and much, much more. Works of art from the likes of Turner, Dali, Matisse, Monet, Renoir, Van Gogh, and Picasso. The list goes on, and you could easily spend an entire day here. There's a cafe and a gourmet restaurant, and an impressive glass-covered courtyard. You might recognise this from the silver screen. This was the setting for parts of Captain America, the Winter Soldier. We were even treated to a performance from a Cleveland Philharmonic Orchestra pianist. I think she was there just for me, but apparently these events happen all the time. The best part, of course, is that it's all free. While you could spend the day here, just next door is another very impressive museum. Dr. Caitlin, so lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Great. Welcome to the Cleveland Museum of Natural History.
Amazing. It's so good to be back, and the place is looking unbelievable. Great. So we're going to go on a journey now.
Yes,
Fantastic.
let's go. This is Happy, the Haplacanthosaur.
Wow.
Yes, so this dinosaur lived during the Jurassic period. It was discovered in Colorado in the 1950s. And what's cool, so everything in the visitor hall has a Cleveland connection. It has a story about either the museum or Cleveland as a whole. And what's cool about this one is that in the 1950s, they were moving over to this building and they wanted a big dinosaur. And they actually sent out a college student and some high school students. They gave them the keys to the truck and were like, go out west and find us a dinosaur. And they did.
Wow.
Yeah. And the chances of that are not very good.
Order.
We have to go say hi to Dunkel Osteus.
That's a mouthful for me. I'd have to practice that.
Well, so it's named after David Dunkel, who was a curator here at the museum. So it's Dunkel, and then Osteus is bone. So this is a very strange kind of fish that lived way before the dinosaurs, so 360 million years ago in this area when we were the ocean. And we were also south of the equator at that time as well, so it was a tropical ocean. And Dunkel Osteus was the big apex predator that was swimming around in the ocean at that time. yeah, so that was all happening right here in the Cleveland area.
This is a real feel-good story.
Yeah, this is Balto. Everybody knows and loves Balto around this area because Balto is famous for going on the serum runs back in the 1920s because of diphtheria. So it was one of the sled dogs that helped to bring the vaccine. They found him in a sideshow in Los Angeles after that, and the kids in Cleveland saved all their pennies to bring Balto to Cleveland. So Balto lived out the rest of its days in the zoo in Cleveland because the kids brought him here and saved him.
Wow, nice. Of course, this is a very famous exhibit that you have.
Yep, this is
Amazing.
Lucy. So Lucy has a great Cleveland connection because it was a curator here in the 1970s that discovered Lucy. The cool thing about Lucy is that she's walking upright, so this is evidence of early bipedalism.
Yeah.
One of the things that makes our museum unique is that it's a natural history museum, but we don't only have dead things, we also have living animals outside. And these are all animals that are native to the Ohio area, and they're all rescue animals as well. So they are unable to be released back into the wild.
So these are one of my favorites. I love bald eagles.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Incredible.
So this is a scate. This is our bald eagle, and she fell out of her nest when she was a baby and hurt her wing. So now she lives here. You get the history of life on the inside, and then you come out and you can see some of the biodiversity from Ohio.
The Natural History Museum is a great day out, ideal for families with fabulous indoor exhibits, and again, it's all free. Next up, I'm off to a fabulous food market and some beer tasting with local legend Sam McNulty. Sam, how are you?
Fantastic.
So good to see you again. Great to be back in Cleveland.
How are you?
I'm great. So, what have you got planned today?
First stop, West Side Market.
Brilliant.
Second stop, Market Garden Brewery for a pint.
I remember your beers from the last time.
Wonderful.
Brilliant. Wow.
The
Oh my
beautiful
God. Wow,
West
wow,
Side
wow.
Market.
Unbelievable. Isn't that incredible?
What a view, right?
Yeah. And what's the history here? I mean, when did this start, Sam?
So 110 years ago, this building was built, and it's all individual, locally owned businesses. So everything from butchers to cheesemongers to fishmongers. So it's a little bit of everything. And the person you're talking to over the counter is the person that owns that stand. So it's definitely a throwback to a time before there was Amazon and all these retailers online. This is the real thing where you see the product, you meet the person who broke down the animal, and it's wonderful.
For tourists, it's great, but I mean, it's a place where people come and buy their food every day.
The grocery store of Cleveland is right here.
You have got great connections here. I mean, you own Market Garden Brewery. You are one of the biggest brewers here in Cleveland as well. So
We're making a lot of beer, and actually, fun backstory, Market Garden Brewery was named in homage to the West Side Market.
Wow.
So our beer garden actually looks out at this market.
So I like cheesecake, right? And I've heard the best New York cheesecake is here in Ohio. Yeah, and a little coffee.
You had me at coffee. It's right downstairs.
Brilliant. Okay,
do it.
let's go. Our double Americano for me, please.
What could possibly be better than that
Amazing.
massive slice of cheese?
But what's incredible here is you have people here from all over the world. I mean, you have Hungarians, Ukrainians. I mean, you've all this food here that's authentic. And of course, the Italian limoncello. I mean, wow.
You got it all. Like the West Side Market is a melting pot of cultures, of their food. It's really fun. And as you walk around, the people shopping here are also a melting pot.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
The makeup of the folks running the stands reflects the makeup of the folks that are shopping here. So it's a really good time.
Brilliant.
Yeah. These are a classic Ohio Buckeye.
Wow.
So peanut butter on the inside, dipped in chocolate.
Amazing.
They're amazing. The act of shopping is so much fun versus going to just a chain grocery store and there's no soul there. This has lots of soul.
I mean, all the produce here, I mean, it's sourced locally.
Like this is
Yeah.
shopping the way it was done hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we need to get back to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's old is new again. So this is an old world approach that we're doing in the modern era.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Across the road from Westside Market is Market Garden Brewery. It was time for me to enjoy this buzzing atmosphere with a few local beers. I really enjoyed that.
Pretty cool,
I
right?
love markets. And when did you get into beer yourself?
Well, that's a long story. I'll give you the short version.
Not when did you start drinking beer? Now that
I started home brewing in my teen years when I was homeschooled, and I told my parents it was a science project that I was going to study fermentation. And they never asked what I did with the fermentation end product, which was beer. So that was how I got my hot little hands on beer at a young age.
And you discovered you were a maestro.
Well, I discovered I had a taste for it. I wasn't not very good at making it, but I can sell it and drink it.
Yeah, but I mean, there seems to be a fantastic craft beer tradition here in Cleveland.
There is indeed. Going back 100 plus years, Cleveland had multiple breweries, and we're actually coming back to that same point where there's brew pubs all over the place, especially here in Ohio City.
Yeah, and it's funny when you say Ohio City, people, it's just this fabulous neighborhood here in Cleveland.
So it's not
which is this kind
not
of hipster's dream.
Yes, people oftentimes look at this as like the Brooklyn neighborhood of Cleveland.
That's exactly what I thought when I came the first time. Yeah,
it's got a lot of artisans, a lot of art, a lot of culture. There's coffee shops, cafes, bars, restaurants, brew pubs like this one we're in.
Fantastic.
And you know what else, Ed? I think it's beer o'clock.
You're right.
And what do you know?
Ah, fantastic.
Wow. We have some samplers.
Wow. Amazing.
So named after the City of Cleveland flag, which the slogan is Progress and Prosperity, we have Progress Pilsner, Prosperity Wheat, and then we threw in there an IPA, Citramax, and then of course our Heart Cider.
Well, I'm going to just have a little tiny taste. So this one is...
This is the cider.
Okay, great. And I'm from the north side in Dublin, so they call me a North Sider.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Sláinte.
So when did you open Market Garden?
So back in 2011, we opened our doors here at Market Garden Brew Pub, and we've been brewing beer on site ever since. Cheers.
And McNulty. Tell me about McNulty. You must definitely have a good Irish connection, eh?
So my grandparents came over from County Down, a little town called Rostraver. We actually still have our farm. It's where the mountains of Mourne come down to the sea.
Does I feel a song coming on?
After a few more of these,
Brilliant.
That's going to happen.
Brilliant, yeah. Yeah, but you have a fantastic quality of life here.
Cleveland strikes that balance. It's a medium-sized city that has big city amenities, culture, sports teams, the art museum, and small town access. So it's affordable. You don't have to wait in line 3 hours to go to brunch. So we have kind of the best of both worlds here.
Yeah. And price-wise, I mean, just something strikes me as well. Very affordable, like really
Yes.
good value here as well. Thanks a million for a wonderful day, Sam.
Sláinte.
With a farewell to Sam, I headed across the road to meet Mike and to discover Mitchell's homemade ice cream. This is ice cream on another level. Hey Mike, how are you?
Ed, good to have you.
I've tried your legendary ice cream the last visit I came here, and I have to say, best ice cream in America.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you very much.
So you're going to give
Appreciate
me a little tour of the process here.
We'd love
and
to.
the secret of your success.
It's fun, but it's part science and it's part art. Those
Yeah.
come together in flavor and creaminess and mouthfeel, all the things that make ice cream really satisfying. And we get to work on that stuff every day with a great group of people in a great city with people that we love, and it's been nothing but fun.
Brilliant. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Well, we do a lot of baking because a lot of things that we put into the ice cream are baked. We bake pieces of brownies and crusts and crumbles and cookie dough, which is not actually baked, but that goes into cookie dough ice cream. So we do a lot of baking and a lot of making of sauces, and then we do a lot of turning those things into finished products of ice cream. Great dairy, great fruits, and great. We even get things like our oats and our wheat from nearby farmers that are really special quality.
Fantastic produce.
Where we like to be is where we combine interesting with purely delicious. So something has to be really delicious in order for us to put it on the menu. We want to make things that you really want to have a whole scoop and sit down and enjoy.
Great. So I can't wait to try some of these delicious ice creams, Mike, later. Are you going to pick a few for me?
Sure, let's do that. This is a flavor, toasted pistachio, which I love. And we make our own pistachio butter. We grind pistachios.
Oh, wow. That is like unbelievable. It's the best ice cream I've ever had in my life.
Lemon white chocolate cookie. So this one's the sweet, not a tart, but a sweet lemon with homemade lemon shortbread crumble and white chocolate chunks, fair-trade white chocolate chunks.
Wow. Oh my God, I don't know, should that even be allowed? In the centre of this vibrant city is a theatre district second only to New York's Broadway. This is Playhouse Square, packed with performances all year round.
Well, goodness me. Hello, Ed. How lovely to see you.
You too.
Welcome to Playhouse Square. What on earth are you doing in Cleveland?
I had to come all the way to Cleveland to meet one of the famous Australian directors of all time. There's this amazing Playhouse Square where we are now. So one of the biggest theatre scenes in America.
It's the largest outside New York. But the reason is, you think back to 100 years ago, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Detroit, all these big industrial, powerful cities built theatres and concert halls and post offices and town halls. So these theatres are almost destroyed. 50 years ago, the wrecking ball was waiting outside to knock these down and build surface lot car parks. And the residents of Cleveland got together and said, no, you can't destroy these, they're so beautiful. Yeah, the original artisans redid everything. All the frescoes are repainted. It's an incredible piece of work.
And how many theatres, Craig, are here?
Of this era, this is about 1920s.
Yeah.
So 5 of this era, and then we have about another 9 other varying sizes. And we're just actually acquiring a couple more. So we're going to be at about 16 theatres in about 2 years' time. The developers here would buy a little piece of land on Euclid Avenue, build a very long corridor, and with less expensive land further north where they'd build the theatres. In fact, you'll see the next one, this is the KeyBank State Lobby, is the longest theatre lobby in the world. When they saved the theatres from the wrecking ball, the theatres were derelicts, they couldn't use them. So what they did was put on a season of Jacques Brel is alive and well and living in Paris for 2.5 years, and all the locals would pay $5 for a ticket and come again and again and again, knowing that the money that was raised would help save these theatres. And we have a 7-series Broadway season, and then another season of about 3 or 4 Broadway shows. But then on top of that, we have 8 resident companies. So we have 2 theatre companies, a ballet company, a film festival, a jazz festival. I mean, they're all doing their annual programs as well. But let me show you inside. People from Cleveland are very loyal and very generous.
Yeah.
And so they love their theatres, they love their orchestras. This one is 3,200 seats, so it's bigger than any West End theatre. Because the catchment area is like 8 million people.
When I get the one-act show written and finished now, I'll be back.
Yeah, we're not going to have you here.
Yeah, no, seriously,
you're
maybe
not-
slightly smaller.
You're not welcome. No, I'm sorry. I won't return your calls. Isn't this spectacular?
Amazing. Look at that there. Wow.
Okay.
Must be amazing at night time as well.
Oh yeah. Well, often we're loading 3 audience groups in at once. I mean, it's just buzzing all the time. It's a very busy part of Cleveland, and it's great to see. So it's a bit of a destination as well as just a place to come and see a show. So yeah, we love it.
Well, I hear you've got auditions to go to now, right? So thanks. It's been great. Thanks a million for your time.
My pleasure.
Absolutely.
Great to
Thanks a
meet you,
million.
and we'll see you in Dublin or Cork.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ed.
Emily, how are you?
How are you?
So good to see you,
Good to
my
see you.
darling. Mwah. Mwah. Well, I mean, I had the most fabulous time here today.
Welcome back to the Allen Theater, part of
I love
Playhouse
it.
Square, and we're going to see
Yeah.
the Cleveland Playhouse production of In the Heights.
Hands off to you, I'm telling you. Best seats in the house.
best. Only the best for you. So
I love it. I mean, the
gonna be
set looks
amazing.
fantastic. Wow.
just like you would see if you were at the West End in London or on Broadway.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Playhouse does it again.
Brilliant. One of the best nights of theatre I've ever been at. Amazing. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is an interactive mecca from exhibitions, memorabilia, and a great store in case you ever forget that Cleveland rocks.
Hey!
How are you? Great to see you
Good to
again.
see you.
How are
Welcome
you?
back.
It's great to be here. I had such a great time the last time.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the inductee list this year, but you did not make it.
I know.
But
Devastated.
there's always next year.
Yeah, no, I'm working on it.
So why don't we go check out the exhibit?
I mean, when did this open, Kelly?
Yeah, so the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has been in Cleveland since 1995. They've actually been inducting people since 1986, but the Hall of Fame found its permanent home here in Cleveland in 95. So we're very lucky to have it on the shorefront, on the lakefront. We've got so many great neighbors in the Great Lakes Science Center and First Energy Stadium with the Browns. And it's just such an energetic, lively place being up on the lake.
I mean, when you look at the whole history here of rock and roll, Cleveland rocks, of course.
Yes.
I mean, rock and roll was coined here.
So like you said, the term rock and roll was coined right here in Cleveland by a disc jockey named Alan Freed. His nickname was Moondog, and he threw the Moondog Ball, which was largely considered to be the first rock and roll concert in history. So that history in Cleveland had a great draw in bringing this place into Cleveland. A lot of cities wanted the Hall of Fame. They all petitioned for it, and obviously Cleveland, we were lucky enough to get it based on the devotedness of the people of Cleveland and just the history that rock and roll has in this city.
Yeah, I mean, an amazing music tradition here. Now, I mean, when people come here, obviously, you can really enjoy. I mean, for me today, obviously, YouTube, Sinead O'Connor. I mean, you know, you feel so proud to be Irish when you come here, actually. In terms of how it happens for musicians, how do you get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yeah, so a musician has to be 25 years from their first commercial release of music to be considered. The nominating committee comes up with a list. We see those nominees come out. The entire voting body is about 1,000 people, past inductees who are still with us, music industry professionals. They all get to vote on who gets inducted. So based on those votes, who in the performers category, who gets nominated to be in this wonderful place. We also have a couple other special categories, including the Early Influences Award, the Musical Excellence category.
Brilliant. And you have a whole new, since I was here last, you have a whole new installation which celebrates women in music.
Yes. Our Revolutionary Women in Music Left of Center exhibit opened in March. It opened to the public on March 8th, which is International Women's Day, and we had some very, very special guests here to commemorate the opening of that exhibit. We had Lisa Loeb, Jane Weedlin of the Go-Go's, Shirley Manson of Garbage, and guitarist Melina Moye, all here to help dedicate that exhibit and bring it out to the public. It's such an important message that women are in music, have always been in music, and will always be a part of music.
Yeah, amazing. Now, when you come here as well, you can learn to play instruments here. There's a whole section where you can jam.
Yeah, our garage space, which is on our second floor, we have tons of high-end instruments. We have guitars, keyboards, drum sets, and people can go in there and there are monitors that will teach you how to play some of your favorite rock songs. You know, it's very cute. We have an education program here called Toddler Rock. And watching them go up there and play with the instruments, you know, a lot of them probably picking up an instrument for the first time, seeing their exposure to music, or even adults go in there for the first time and are able to pick up a guitar and play. We also have a house band who plays occasionally, and people can go down there and basically sing karaoke with them. And when people get singing down there, the energy is electric. They draw crowds and people are going wild.
Thanks so much, Rita. I must say, this is something, I mean, you know, everybody needs to come here and you know, experience it. And I have to say, Kelly, Cleveland rocks.
Cleveland does rock. Thank you for coming by today.
Cheers. Next week, our epic adventure across America continues as we hit the highway and head south, visiting the capital of Ohio, Columbus, and on to the historic city of Cincinnati before heading to the East Coast.